From Notre Dame. They've been playing Michigan versus Notre Dame since 1887. Not many of the football games better than this one. We are inside the Joyce Athletic Center right across from Notre Dame Stadium. Chris Fowler along with Lee Corso and Craig James. Somewhat deflated in here at this point. Michigan wins at 26-24, a game very reminiscent of the Boston College loss by Notre Dame a year ago, the last football game played here before this one. After the game, Steve Cyphers spoke with the victorious Michigan quarterback, Todd Collins.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Todd, what was said at the half to change the game plan? You went to the air more.
Oh, halftime. I said, Mo, you got to cut me loose, you know? We got a great team. I knew our wide receivers were going to beat those guys. They try to play us man. They can't play us man. That's an insult.
They scored the go-ahead touchdown. Did you have any doubts?
No. We practice this drill all the time. Every third. It was a great effort. Our team, we believed in ourselves. That's why I won this game.
Todd, thank you. Thank you very much. That's it. Chris?
Every quarterback wants to tell the coach, hey, cut me loose. He was poised in that interview, Craig. He was very poised in the fourth quarter of this game.
He was very poised with my interview with him in Ann Arbor on Tuesday. I was there, and he was talking about how good he felt about this ball game, how much he had matured from the previous season, and it showed in the fourth quarter. Everybody in that stand was on their feet. Most people assumed the ball game was over with, but with 4th and 5, Todd Collins showed that he wasn't just the only guy out there chasing Ron Polis around. He had a purpose as well. 4th and 5, and I'm telling you guys, everybody thought this was over with. Amani Toomer, the 15-yard reception, was a huge completion for Todd Collins as an individual, more importantly for the city and the state and all the things that happened at Michigan, and that showed to me that Collins has arrived.
Yeah, I was also impressed with the freshman quarterback Ron Polis. You know, I was a questionable guy about him, but I saw him do some things in this game. I tell you what, he could be a great quarterback. But the thing that impressed me about Todd Collins in the clutch, he escapes the pass rush, throws the ball out to Seth Smith, number 86, who's only a freshman. Watch this play. Except right there. Now watch Seth Smith. Jumps for the sideline. The reason that's important, it stops the clock. They had no timeouts left. Boy, that set up the winning field goal. That was a sensational play, well coached by Collins and Smith.
And Remy Hamilton, the sophomore kicker, joining the long list of kickers who have had big impacts in the series. Harry Oliver, Reggie Ho for Notre Dame, now Hamilton for Michigan. Turnovers, very uncharacteristic of a Lou Holtz team. The 3 fumbles, 2 by Lee Becton, 1 by Paulus on the exchange. Irish defense, a good job keeping Michigan from getting in the end zone, but still, it set up 3 Michigan field goals, and that was critical.
It looked to me like Notre Dame's defensive line did a great job. Normally, the tailbacks at Michigan over the last 4 years have averaged about 168 yards a game. They shut that down. Biatuka had some good runs, but not a lot of them like you would have expected from a Tyrone Wheatley and some of these other players.
From what I saw at Notre Dame today, I don't think they'll lose another game all the way to Florida State. That's going to be a big game for them. If they could beat Florida State, beat USC, they're still in the title hunt because they got a quarterback to keep in the game, and they play with a lot of heart.
And Michigan, a much-needed week off. Then Colorado comes calling to the Big House. A great one here. Michigan 26, Notre Dame 24. The magic belonging to the Wolverines here in South Bend for a change. A lot more coming up from South Bend and during our doubleheader in college football later on this evening. Take you back now to SportsCenter.
All right, Chris.
I tell you what, Fred, everybody, or a lot of the Notre Dame fans are still sitting around full of shock and disbelief. They thought they had this game won. Where were Steve Morrison and Jared Irons, a couple of linebackers? What was the mood of the team on the bench after Notre Dame scored in the last minute?
Well, I think I speak for a lot of guys. You know, we looked at the clock and said, we're not out of this. And we had a couple guys hang their heads, and we just tried to pick them up and say, you know, get that offense going, give them help. And they did, and they did a wonderful job.
How about the mood of the team in the locker room after you guys had won this thing?
We're all very happy right now. You know, we worked real hard for this game, and it came our way.
But how crazy was it in that locker room a couple of minutes ago?
It was real crazy. It was real crazy. You know, everybody, you know, crying, jumping around, having a good time.
Jared, how about the character of this team? A lot of injuries. Nobody was picking you to win this game, and you stopped them when you needed to, and you moved the ball on them when you needed to as well.
Yes, the character is all in our seniors. We have great senior leadership with Steve and a couple other guys. You know, they just lead and we follow. So that's how I look at that.
Y'all looking pretty calm and cool right now after this fantastic, dramatic victory in South Bend, Indiana. How about it? A senior, and now the series breaks for 2 years. This is a victory you can enjoy for 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's going to be for about 2 days, you know, because we've got to get on to our work. But like you said, it's going to be a great thing. We'll remember it forever.
A game that you will remember for the rest of your life, no doubt about that. Talk about what was said at halftime in the locker room from Coach Moeller.
Well, we had some problems adjusting a couple things, and you know, he said it was a tight game. He said we have to go out and win the second half and keep fighting, and it's going to be an up and down game. And you know, he was right, and you know, we came up on top.
All right. Steve Morrison and Jared Irons, a couple of the winning members of the Michigan football team. They defy the Irish gods and the tradition here in South Bend and win it 26-24. Now the series breaks for a couple of years, and Michigan can enjoy it that much longer. Fred, back to you.
This is a big game. It's a big win for come down Notre Dame. It was great, man. It was great.
You talked all week about getting this win and finally beating these guys.
Hey, this is a big game. This is a big game for Notre Dame. Not our rival. Ohio's our rival.
How about the kick? How about the game-winning kick, Todd? Remy
Hamilton kicked for us great. People say our kicking game is terrible. We shoved it in their face.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. The offense never gave up. I mean, it looked like it was over.
Never gave up. You know what I'm saying? We don't give up. We never gave up. We never gave up.
They said we quit last year. We got a great team. We believe in ourselves.
Hey, I might have made the kick, but it's everyone else that did all the work, man, to get me down there and make the kick. My snapper, holder, the line.
First of all, I'd like to give a lot of credit to my teammates for putting me in the position where they were. They were out there doing all the hard work. It's my job just to come in and do what I did. I was just hoping it would be a good snap and good hold, which it was, and I'd concentrate on the spot and keep my head down and follow through.
But am I happy? Yes. I guess I'm more satisfied. But I know one thing. We got a long way to go. We have a long way to go, and it's a long season.
It's very, very disappointing for us, and it hurts, and it'll hurt for a while. But let's learn from it, and let's move on.
When did you start thinking it might be you to win it?
I guess right when it was 53 seconds left, because everyone was saying, you know, it's not over yet, Remy, it's not over yet. So.
Boy, Remy, you got that right, and the rest of the Wolverine offense was thinking that way, too.
We just figured that if they can go down the field and score in 40 seconds, we can do the same thing. We had 2 timeouts, never give up.
I mean, the confidence was showing in the last quarter. You look around, no guys had quit in their eyes. They all were really intense and really into the game, and we came out with a victory.
The game-winning drive was beautiful, and Todd Collins was terrific. The over-the-middle completion to number 16, Jay Remiersma. Another over-the-middle completion to Seth Smith under pressure. And then possibly the best completion of his career.
The most beautiful play made by a quarterback was at the end there when he almost got sacked. He knew he couldn't get sacked. He found Seth Smith, and Seth was smart enough to get it out of bounds. That was a huge play.
I couldn't afford to take a sack, and I didn't really feel any pressure coming out to my right side until the end. And, you know, a guy just grabbed onto me, and I somehow, you know, twirled around, and Seth Smith was in the right place for me.
What was going through your mind when you were lining up?
I was just hoping it would be a good snap and good hold, which it was, and I'd concentrate on the spot and keep my head down and follow through.
This has to give you the confidence to feel like you can just kick anything now.
Not really. I mean, because it's just like I don't even know what it was. What was it, a 40-yarder? 42-yarder.
You know, 7 seconds to go in the game. You know, you split the uprights. No big deal, right? Down here in Notre Dame.
No. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a great kick because now if I would have missed it, it'd be a whole different story.
One question I probably won't get this week in the media conference is who's going to do the place kicking. So, Jack, right? You wanted to bring that up. Good. I look at this game this way. It's very satisfying because you're playing a great football team and a great program, okay? It's a beautiful thing to win.
If they can go down the field in 40 seconds and score a touchdown, we can go down in a minute, 52 seconds, and score 3 and beat them. That's what we did.
But still, that's a great comeback. I mean, it didn't look real good.
It feels good. It didn't look good, but hey, like I told Coach at the game, we practiced too hard this week, too much effort into it, watching too much film to lose.
Oh, last snap that it's placed down. The kick is on its way. It's high enough, long enough. It's good! Remy Hamilton has done it! A 42-yard field goal with 2 seconds to play.
Disappointment on the face of Polish. Elation for Michigan as the Wolverines, behind 100 yards, too, from Chiminga Biaka-Patuka, and 6 Michigan sacks beat Notre Dame by 2. More on that game in a minute. Storylines of this second Saturday of college football and the game they witnessed. They had the pleasure of witnessing Michigan-Notre Dame. Back to South Bend and Chris Fowler. Chris?
Thanks, Mike. It was a pleasure. It's wake up the echoes here, but they're painful echoes of the Boston College loss. Could be another painful development for Notre Dame. Derek Mays, who injured his ankle on that final touchdown catch, it was very swollen after the game. His status uncertain for Michigan State. Let's salute the guys who filled in for Michigan. All the injured players were a major concern. Trevor Price fills in for Matt Dyson, a fumble recovery. He had 2 sacks. Biaka Batuka, 102 yards. And Remy Hamilton, who just won the kicking job this week, 4 of 5 in the game winner.
How about Todd Collins, too? The veteran quarterback. He goes in. He has an outstanding game. Matter of fact, I think this may have been the ball game for Todd Collins that turns the point, a new change in his career. I talked with him Tuesday. I was in Ann Arbor, and he said, you know, I feel a lot better. I'm a confident guy, and it showed in the fourth quarter. Michigan's trying to stretch the lead out on Notre Dame. It's 4th and 5. He avoids a sack. He doesn't give up. He finds a Monty Toomer 15-yard gain. It is an excellent opportunity for him now that he's got his confidence to go ahead and spill on over into the rest of his teammates in that Big Ten run, and that'll make a big difference for them.
That was a great win for Michigan. And also a very important point that's hidden here. They now have the confidence, as Craig was talking about, to come from behind. Wherever they're playing, home or away. They got a week off, and then they really go after the title. They got Colorado, Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. They won the battle, but they got the toughest road to try to win a national title of anyone in the country.
But all those teams, except for Ohio State that you mentioned, have to come to the Big House. Penn State, should you roll into Ann Arbor unbeaten, Michigan could be unbeaten if they get by Colorado. The Nittany Lions is impressive as any team we've seen.
Well, they're so impressive offensively. That's what's great about them. They've averaged over 38 points a game for the last 8 games. And how they do it? Balance. They got the best balance of anybody in the nation. If you'll notice there, look, 631 to 592. You don't know how to stop them. I think you're right. I think they'll go into Michigan undefeated. And this is important because one of the things that they have to understand is they do not play Wisconsin. So the Michigan-Penn State game is very important because of that.